Okay, everyone, welcome. My name is Jacob Moss. I am one of the advisors and recruiters here at Ashland University. Today, we're going to be doing this information session on the one-year online MBA program. Throughout the time, obviously the chat's an option, so if there's a slide that you have a specific question on, feel free to type something in the chat. I'll be able to read that, moderate that. If it seems super pertinent that I'll stop and answer it then, great. If not, then I might wait till the end, just kind of go through the list of questions that you all might have. So to begin, I'm just going to give a general overview. These are all of the programs. I think it's important to note this. Obviously, you're here for the one-year online program, but we're going to be talking just about the other offerings that Ashland has as well, noting that some of the cool features or perks of the other programs can actually be integrated into the one-year online program as well. So just quickly, there's the traditional MBA program. This is an 18-month to 2-year program. It's going to be offered face-to-face as well as online. That's kind of the bread and butter of MBA programs, was this traditional program. It's something Ashland has a rich history in, 30 plus years of MBA. And so we're excited about that program. Obviously, that's kind of a staple for our university. Next, then we're going to move, obviously, you're all here for it today, the one-year online program. This is kind of newer in higher ed, but something that Ashland has really developed very thoroughly. We're excited about this program. It actually finishes in about 10 months. I'll get into the details and the semantics of the timeline throughout today's presentation, but that's one of our programs. And the third program we promote primarily is the International MBA program. This has some study tour options. It's a cohort model. It meets in either Cleveland or Columbus. Again, things look a little different for that program currently with COVID, but we're actually very excited about some of the opportunities coming out of that program. Things we're developing right now in light of the pandemic, and so we're excited to be hopefully announcing some new initiatives with that program sometime soon. But taking that down a level then, even deeper into the one-year online program, this is just the general structure. It's going to be 2 classes per 7 weeks. So our online sessions for the one-year program, the courses themselves are 7-week courses, which means in a semester, you'll actually take 4 total courses. So for example, at the fall start, you would have 2 classes from August until October, and then additional 2 classes from October until December. So within the traditional semester window, you actually will be able to take 4 MBA courses. The same thing would then repeat in the spring, and then the summer semester, in this hypothetical scenario, would just be the first 7 weeks. There's 10 total classes, so you'd go 4, 4, 2. 4 in the fall, 4 in the spring, 2 in the summer. Even our online programs, they're cohort-oriented or cohort-centric programs. A lot of students, I think right now, they are weary maybe of online learning because they think it's isolating. And by all means, some students choose it because it is that. But our programs here at Ashland, we want to make sure that if you're interested in a community, we can at least provide that as an opportunity. And so again, you would be registered and hopefully move through the program with classmates virtually through this program, through your time together through that year. You would be working alongside the same students in the same classes, building relationships, networking, all that good stuff along the way. The program was originally launched around the project management specialization, and as a part of that, we've built into the program your PMI membership and PMP test options paid for by the program, by the university. The next bullet point, though, recognizes that we can actually incorporate any of our specializations into the one-year online program. And so if you're thinking that you'd love not only to pursue a separate specialization, but you want some memberships, you want some certifications, some test options are a part of that specialization or a part of your focus, we certainly welcome those conversations here at Ashland. We pitch and we sell the opportunities for the project management, but when we say that we can incorporate any specialization, we don't just mean academically, we mean professionally as well. And so we're certainly open to those conversations. That'll all make a little more sense here in a second when I show you those list of specialization options and talk about the course breakdowns. Already, the fall one-year schedule is outlined and posted on our website. If you're really curious about what my year looked like, I'd be happy to connect with you, walk you through that, explain that. It outlines very truly which 4 classes you would take in the fall, the 4 in the spring, and the 2 in the beginning of next summer, outlining very thoroughly the complete timeline. That's one of my favorite things about the one-year online program, that from the day you start, you can actually already see the finish line. I think that's super motivating. I think for a lot of people, whether you're coming out of an undergrad degree and just looking to do grad school, or you're a working professional, you have family, et cetera, all these moving parts, you know what you're getting yourself into with this program. It's succinct, it's clearly outlined, and we actually do all the registration for you. We do all the programming for you. We do everything. You just commit to starting your studies, and we guide you through all the way to the finish line. So as I mentioned, these specializations, originally the one-year online MBA program was launched around project management. But as we've developed new specializations at Ashland, we've actually made sure that we can incorporate any of these options into the one-year program. There's a few little asterisks, specifically the one on the healthcare management and leadership. If that's of interest to you, we can definitely do it in 1 year, but it's the true 1 year timeline versus the 10-month timeline, because the healthcare management and leadership courses are 12 weeks instead of 7 weeks. Again, little semantic details there. If that's something that interests you and you want to connect and talk through that more thoroughly, I'd be happy to do that. Some of the other specializations, such as accounting, require some prerequisite background in accounting, intermediate 1, 2 in cost accounting, etc. A lot of students actually then look at this list and say, can I do more than one? Absolutely. That's another conversation we'd happily have with you. Lots of options here in the specializations. These all, again, I can contextualize these a little bit more here in this next slide. So this, for all the programs at Ashland, is the program structure. We have phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. Phase 1 courses are the MBA foundation courses. You can see them listed here. These are, the foundation courses are for students who don't have a background in business. So if your undergrad background is not in business, but you think that an MBA is right for you, it's going to help you pursue some of your career goals, life goals, etc. We just need to get you up to speed with that. And so the accounting, economics, marketing, and finance prerequisites are all either required or we can waive them. So that's either if you have an undergraduate background in business, or we can also make considerations for work experience, professional development, lots of other options there. That's going to just be a conversation with you and your program advisor. That's either myself, my colleagues Ron or Jenny. And so we work with students to just kind of understand where they're at, where they're coming into the program, and what we need to do to make sure that they can get started in the MBA coursework. And so if your undergraduate background is in business, let's say, you actually start right into the program. And so the phase 2 courses are known as the MBA core. Phase 3 are electives, and phase 4 is just the single capstone course. Phase 2 and phase 3 courses can be taken simultaneously, and we mix and match that. So again, in terms of the one-year online program, we could actually show you already which classes you'd be taking in conjunction with one another, 2 at a time per 7 weeks, starting in the fall, finishing next summer in the first 7-week session of summer. The capstone course, a lot of students ask, and I'll hit on it one more time in this presentation. It's not a thesis or a dissertation. It's just a course that encapsulates all kind of the elements of our MBA core into one final course. And so we can talk a little bit about more about that here in a second. Let's see. So this is a linear timeline, a visual timeline of that same program breakdown. Those phase 1 courses, the MBA foundation courses, they have to more or less be the first introductory to the program. Some of the phase 2 courses can be taken without any prerequisites. And so if you are a person that's still looking to finish in a year and you have to do the phase 1 courses, we can talk about the ways we would alter your schedule to make sure that the prerequisites happen before some of those MBA core phase 2 or phase 3 courses. So again, as you can see here, this is where a lot of your coursework is going to come into play. So you have the core and specialization classes happening. Once you've reached 24 credit hours, you're close to finishing the program. You have 2 classes left. You'll take then the capstone course and your final MBA course to hit that 10 total courses. As I mentioned, though, the capstone course is not a standalone. It's not an extended thesis or dissertation for an additional amount of time. that is part of the one-year trajectory. It's just the final course in our MBA curriculum. So a lot of people want to know what their options are then. They want to, some people hear that and they say, that sounds awesome, Jake. This timeline sounds great. Like you said, it's exciting to start the program and be able to see the finish line from the beginning. But then life happens, right? And they want to mix and match. And all of a sudden, a course comes up that's only offered face-to-face. And because all of our AU students, online included, are part of the AU community, they say, can I take a class face-to-face? And we say, absolutely. Lots of students, almost every student in the program makes some unique, specific, individual alteration, and we encourage that. We want this program to be about you. We want this program to really feed your needs. And so if there's a class that's offered face-to-face at our Cleveland campus, you say, you know what, Jake, I want to remove one of my electives as an online elective, and I want to go to that course. I'm excited about that opportunity. Great. We encourage that. Some students say, Jacob, this has been awesome. I love the pace, but work stuff is going to get really thick in the spring semester. Can I take some time off? Absolutely. Again, you can take up to a year off total before we'd have to have conversations about reapplying to the program. That doesn't mean your credits go away though. Your credits at Ashland are good. And so if you need to step away from classes, you're not going to lose any of the progress you've made. And then myself, Ron, or Jenny, our team, would be happy to get you back up to speed or figure out a plan for you that matches your timeline. So some students have done half the program, they've taken some time off and come back again. Other students, obviously, they do the whole thing straight through. Some students get really excited about waiting on a specific class to come into rotation, and so they take some time. Lots of students change or add specializations. There's tons of different options. And so again, when we say we're flexible, what we really mean is that we want to tailor the program to you. We want to make sure that your needs and academic desires are met, as well as hopefully position you well for professional development and career opportunities. That's what we're hoping for here at Ashland. Financial aid is a big question in graduate programs, and our graduate financial aid office is happy to work with students using both the semester money and summer loan process. That's language that I let them handle specifically, but by all means, a majority of the cost of our program can be completely covered by financial aid. We also do corporate reimbursement. We work with employers. We do all sorts of things. If money is a question of yours and you want to figure out how you're going to financially make that happen, we have some other resources. A recent interview with the financial aid office and the MBA program. That's a webinar we just did. We can also get you connected with a financial aid counselor to discuss your financial options when pursuing your MBA at Ashland. The next question specifically says, I think it's actually representative of a broader concept. Can I go on a study tour even if I'm not in the one-year program? So there's lots of other perks. Each one of our programs, the traditional program, the one-year online, and the one-year international, they have exciting opportunities. And similar to the question one listed here, can I mix and match? Absolutely. Don't think that you are explicitly bound to the outline, to the rigid structure of the one-year online program. If there are other opportunities that Ashland is presenting to our MBA students, we highly encourage you to feel like you are part of those opportunities as well. They are certainly open to you. A lot of people choose the one-year online very specifically because it does perfectly fit their needs, their timelines, their goals, aspirations, etc. But we just definitely want to make sure that if you see something coming down the pipeline that is promoted for one of our other programs, it's not exclusive. You're certainly invited to ask those questions and see what we can do, our team can do to make sure we satisfy your needs. So some big questions that come up then. What's the cost of the program? The one-year online is a comprehensive cost program. Comes in at $33,900. Again, that's for the phase 2, 3, and 4 courses. If you need to do foundation courses, if you need to take some other courses to get up to speed before starting the MBA coursework, that's going to be an additional cost for some, at a different credit hour rate though. similar to our undergraduate rates, but we can have that conversation if that's something you need to talk through or you're wondering. But the cost of the one-year online program is $33,900. The location, obviously the program itself is online, but we have Cleveland, Columbus, and Ashland locations as a university. I think it's really important to push that even though you're an online student of Ashland, you're still part of the Ashland community. And so everything that we do, student services, all that, anything that is Ashland, you are a part of. And so if you ever had questions or you needed to talk with your professors, et cetera, anything like that, we can definitely set something up in Ashland, Cleveland, or Columbus, again, to cater to your needs as a student. As part of the one-year online program, we also then, the location is kind of wherever you want it to be because we provide Verizon MiFi wireless internet hotspots. And so we definitely know that the program is demanding, it's rigorous. You need that access to the internet and we want to provide that for you. So we cover the cost, we carry the cost of that for the duration of your time in the program. That's going to be unlimited Wi-Fi during your time at Ashland. And so that's something we definitely want to set you up for success. And that's a perk of this program. The third one then, still kind of hinting on some things that I've already talked about, but can I work full-time and succeed, or what's that look like? What's the schedule? And as you could imagine, 2 classes per 7 weeks, it's an accelerated program. It's demanding of your time, but it's a great opportunity. I think, especially now more so than ever, some of us are finding a little margin in our life that we weren't expecting. We don't know what to do with some of our time. I think definitely now there's the opportunity. The online classes, I did the online program myself. I'm an alumni of the program. I found that I was able to really efficiently and effectively organize my schedule, find time in the week. I was working full time. Lots of different variables go into that, and obviously it's a big question of time management, but a lot of our students have found that by all means they can in fact work full time and succeed. We talk about roughly anywhere from 5 to 10 hours. I realize that's a range, but depending on your academic acumen, 5 to 10 hours a week per class. And so if you're taking 2 classes at a time, we're talking about between 10 and 20 hours of excess work that week. Some of that though is via video lectures that you can listen to while you're doing other things around the house, while you're on your commutes, etc. Lots of students find ways to make that work. We'd be happy to connect you with alumni and just get a personal testimonial, if you will, about their experiences of working full time and being in the program. Is now the right time? Certainly a great question. I think, as I outlined earlier, because of the flexibility, we really encourage students to, even if they don't know what the next year of life looks like, they can by all means start. Starting now, it's never too late, but it's always the right time to get something started. And so we definitely want to connect students to those opportunities early. If you dive into the deep end and you say, whoa, I need something different, I need a break, or I need to slow this down, by all means, those are conversations we're willing to have. You're not bound to anything per se, but rather we want to make sure that this is working for you. We also want to connect you with people from our program. We want to connect you with those stories. We don't want you to feel alone in the online world. That's why we do the cohort model for those who are looking for some more interactions with other students in their classes, as well as connecting to the greater Ashland community, recognizing that even though you're an online student, you are definitely a part of Ashland at large. Some other things that this program offers: Karen Hagens is our MBA career coach. So our MBA program has a person devoted to career development opportunities, professional development opportunities for our students. And that extends past your graduation date. Karen is willing to work with alumni. She and her team have developed internal AU job boards that give you access to different opportunities exclusive to the Ashland network. Again, as I've mentioned a number of times, our online students are Ashland students. And so there's tech support, the AU bookstore, Microsoft Office support, a ton of little perks and extras throughout the program that you have full access to as an Ashland University student. And so we definitely promote these things as well. At this time, I'm just going to briefly mention, if you have specific questions, if there's something I said that you need some additional clarification on, by all means type it in the chat. If you think, however, that it's a more personal question, something you want to connect with me directly on, by all means, I'm open to that. Here is our full contact for the office. mba@ashland.edu is managed by all three of the faces shown here. And so we can definitely get you a quick response to your questions. That's actually to my cell phone number listed under my name. Tina, as I gave the presentation this morning, if there was something I talked about or brought up and you say, hey, Jake, I really want to talk about that more or explore that more with you, that is my number, and I'd be happy to take your calls. I'm going to just leave it on this page. I'm going to leave it up. I hope that this clarified a little bit for you. If you're thinking, okay, I know that I want to start the program. I think I have an idea about what specialization I'd like to pursue. And you're ready to kind of mock outline that, I'd be happy to work with you and give you an outline, give you something tangible to sit down with and say, is this what I want to step into? I think our whole team would be happy to support you in finding something that works really well for you. And that's what we're hoping to do here at Ashland. And so we welcome the questions. We welcome the curiosity. And so if you have anything that you need from us, please, by all means, reach out. We would be happy to answer those questions for you. Sure. So Mackenzie, thanks for asking. The one-year international experience, I'd be happy to talk a little bit more about. We're actually going to have an info session, though, on Monday, specific for the one-year international program. By and large, though, very similar, very quickly. It is going to be the same program structure. However, that's going to be face-to-face or virtual classes in Cleveland or Columbus. You're part of a cohort. And some of those electives are actually switched out with international experiences, travel experiences. Again, in light of COVID right now, we are developing some new super exciting opportunities to connect students with global corporations. A lot of exciting things coming down the pipeline with what that's going to look like with travel specifically up in the air. That's another one, though, that when I talk about the pacing of the program, if something really excites you, if one of these international study tours excites you, and that is the primary objective of your education, is to get some experiences. If you're prioritizing that above the timeline, then by all means, we're encouraging students to start the program, get as much of it as they can done, and then we're gonna really hope to have some amazing travel experiences in the future once travel is a little better defined in light of the global pandemic. But absolutely, the one-year international program is available to students still. We're recruiting for it. It's going to have the Cleveland and Columbus cohorts are still up and running for the fall. But absolutely, Mackenzie, if you're interested anymore, we'll definitely want to connect you to my colleague, Jenny. She will be hosting that webinar on Monday, actually. So tune into that if you're interested in specific details about the one-year international program. Awesome. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions right now. There's my contact information. You can also, by all means, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd be happy to connect with you there, get you some information in the messaging, in messages on LinkedIn, and we will certainly be in touch. Thank you all so much for attending. I hope that you are excited about possibly pursuing your MBA here at Ashland, and we look forward to working with you more in the near future. Thanks so much.